one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
This is Discover Crypto. Every day on this channel, we teach you how to make money with digital assets. Smash the likes, everybody. My name is DZ. I'm joined here by TJ, and we got a lot of news to cover today. We got to talk about the $88,000 Bitcoin. What is the probability? What is the likelihood of this? And what is Jerome Powell doing on Friday? It's going to shake the markets. And we got to bring up China, XRP, Solana, Cardano, tons of news. It's going to be a major day. TJ, how are you doing today, though?
I'm doing good. I mean, everything's in the red. So all our coins are down. There goes all the momentum from last week. But Chainlink still had a good weekend. Aerodrome still had a good weekend. So, yeah, it just doesn't stop. But, yeah, if those silly politicians could just chill out and let all our coins go, then it could be up only, right?
Yeah, people bringing up Cubic in the chat. Yeah, Cubic attacking Doge. Doge is going to have some serious activity soon, so we'll talk about that. But sharing the screen here, okay, I did add it. We have Drew. The Druth made an appearance on our channel here. You can see if you want to learn more about Aerodrome, go check out Drew's video. Also, I'll tell you what, L2 is being picked by Coinbase to maybe be one of the top tokens moving forward. And we got a major Chainlink video in the works. I don't know if we're going to put it out tonight or tomorrow. But let's, speaking of the nighttime, that's when Bitcoin decided to take a little bit of a dump here. I think it was around 2 a.m. No, this is 10 p.m. So 10 p.m. last night was the local high, but you can see fell off a cliff right around in this range here. So Bitcoin just massive dump. That might actually been AM. I'm sorry. You can see Bitcoin losing in a 10-hour time about $3,500. Now Bitcoin right now trying to find a bottom. These are 5-minute candles we're looking at here. And so maybe we just have a new range for Bitcoin. But let me show you something here, TJ. This is parallel channel on the daily. This is going back to July. And if you see, we're stuck in this range. Oh, then we broke up. Ooh, Things started to look good. We hit 122. Oh, whoa, new all-time high, 124. And if you look at the current price action, we're right here, TJ. So definitely a do or die moment. If we do lose this support, I would predict, at the very least, maybe we'll talk about 88K. This is taking it down to, say, 109, maybe even 108 if you go out far enough, 110 if it were to happen very quickly. How are you feeling about Bitcoin this week? Are we going to traipse along the line? Are we going to head to the downside? Or do you think this is going to be the fuel we need for a bounce?
No, I think we'll level out. I mean, maybe Monday we generally see corrections on Monday, and then we get at least the last few weeks. Then Tuesday, Wednesday have been better. Like I said, I think it's mostly political markets, just kind of in a wait and see moment to see what happens with everything that's going on with Zelensky and all his friends.
Yeah, we got to talk about sweaty Zelensky in a little bit.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think once that happens, I think we'll still see rate cuts in September. We'll still see business as usual. They're still printing a bunch of money. I think Powell, he's probably going to talk about inflation a little bit, being a little bit high with the PPI numbers, and that maybe makes people cool off a little bit. But generally speaking, I think we probably, I know there's some numbers on there that show some pretty low, even still being in a bull trend, even if we do hit numbers like 88K or just under 90K. But I think we'll stay well above. I think 110 stays strong, but I think we were due for somewhat of a pullback.
All right, I would agree. Shout out to the chat here. We got some people in Rumble. We got some people on X. We do appreciate everybody. And, of course, the YouTube, the crypto fam out there, the disco fam, running things here. We love seeing it. And a lot of people saying lower, but then we also got people saying, no, we're going higher. In fact, we're not going below 110. No, we're getting lower lows. So when you see a lot of, I don't want to say confusion in the markets, but no clear direction, that's when you might start seeing some major moves here. We're going to talk about the leverage that is out there as well. So let's get into the next phase here, which is look at the rest of the market. What is the rest of the market doing? We're going to CoinGecko. We're hitting refresh. We got that fresh data on the price charts here. Like TJ said, we're seeing a lot of red candles. Bitcoin is down 2.5%. ETH now down 5%. Pretty significant. We look at Solana. Solana's down 6% here. Dogecoin down about 5%. Cardano down 6.5%. Like you said, Chainlink still holding strong. Chainlink looking good. We're going to talk about some Chainlink news a little bit later. In fact, it might be the biggest gainer. Ooh, Monero. Monero's finally, Cubic has found a new target. We could take a deep breath here. Maybe we're going to be no longer under attack. Monero 2.5%. Interesting to see there. Monero. What are your thoughts on Monero? Monero is a privacy coin and had one of the most stable bear markets of all the tokens there, but slightly diminishing returns. This trend line looks like that might have been the top, TJ.
Yeah, I mean, it's well known as a privacy coin, proof of work coin, like you just mentioned. It went through that attack by was it Cubic or Cubic? Yep. So that's not a great look, but and it's tough to find privacy out there. What I will say is there's almost always a new privacy edge. Like that's kind of what you're doing when you're dealing with privacy coins, is being on the bleeding edge of the internet. So those people have probably adapted a long time ago, but it's out there.
All right, we got a question here. Got the Blowfin account. Using the referral, they still get Discord membership.
Yes.
You should be good to go. You should be good. All right, now we're going to talk about a rising wedge pattern. This is a bearish pattern, and this bearish pattern forms during uptrends or downtrends. So you can see this beginning line, coming from the top, then it heads to the downside, come from the bottom, then it heads to the downside. We are not saying this is a guarantee that this plays out every single time, but more often than not, when you see a rising wedge, this is a bearish pattern. You can see the lower lows or higher lows losing intensity, and this is a sign that the buyers are getting exhausted. It's just a classic TA term. I want to show you that because we're going to talk about Bitcoin's rising wedge breakdown and how low can Bitcoin go. Then we're going to go into the charts here. And so it corrected 8% since it establishes the 124,500 high 4 days ago. Now risk further declines due to a classic bearish reversal pattern. It has confirmed a breakdown from its rising wedge pattern on the daily chart. In Bitcoin's case, the wedge has been forming since April with higher highs and higher lows compressing towards the apex as the sign of the wedge. This is the chart here. You can see, kind of starting February, March, April area, the bottom starting April. And so when you do look for, the classic TA way of measuring this, make sure you're on a regular chart. And then you're going to draw a line from the maximum height where it is hit touch at both sides. You'll see some people, they'll draw this yellow line and then they'll make this super, super long line. That to me is not as accurate as this, where it has now hit the top, has now hit the bottom. This gives us a slight breakdown target. If this were the breakdown, maybe it climbs back in, maybe it happens up here, but maybe it's going to happen right here, folks. Actually lower than 88. $86,000 Bitcoin. Now, this is just a classical trading pattern. Not saying it's guaranteed to hit this, but do not be surprised if we hit $85,000. What are your thoughts on this, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would definitely. Camera crapped out. That would definitely scare a lot of people if we did see that play out. I wouldn't invalidate the bear market to me, but the timing, if that happened in October. November, that would be pretty scary timing, but let me mess with this.
In bullish periods, we can have significant drawdowns. To TJ's point, this is a 31% drawdown that we saw still in an uptrend. This is just January 25. 31%. Remember that number, 31%. 31%. Wow. Almost perfect confluence, 30.7%. And so we have several indicators at this point pointing, this does not mean bull run's over. This does not mean Bitcoin's done forever. But what this might mean is that July, August uptrend that we've seen every single post-halving year is then followed by a September pullback. This might be that September pullback. I'm warning you now. I'm still going to be bullish. I'm going to be bull posting this whole way. I'm not going to be saying, we fell 4%, sell your car, sell your mortgage, buy all the Bitcoin you can. But if we start flirting with this bottom level, I'm not going to be all convinced that, 69K is coming, 50K is coming, 44K is coming. Still going to be bullish, and I still will think that we're going to be in the bull run here. Now, DeFi Investor brought something up. Searches for crypto just hit the highest level in 4 years. Looks like retail is here. Not really the highest level in 4 years, but not as much as 4 years ago. It did hit 100 on this Google Trend metric. Remember, we looked at this last week. Worldwide and US, you're going to see something different. But I want to point something out to you here. when you see this right here, this isn't necessarily a good sign. Seeing this spike, they're like, oh, retail's here. Now's the time to buy. Let's look at 2021. May 9th through May 15th, 2021. TJ Prager already has PTSD about this week here. May 9th, 2021 is this right here. This is the dead cat bounce. It's not even the top of the market. That's April 14th. May 9th is this candle. And it was May 9th through the 15th. So everybody was looking at Bitcoin in this 7-day period right here.
What's happening to my coin?
Woo! Yeah, they're looking it up because they want to know, is it over? They don't do the rest. They said, is crypto dead? They're like, oh, crypto searches are spiking. Crypto over? Question mark. Crypto, should I just, I'm not even going to say it, but very, very bearish period. So seeing Google Trends could be a bear sign. I'm trying to warn you that, there is some bearishness in the charts. There is some bearishness probabilities, some bearish possibilities. Also, the rising wedge breakdown typically measures subtracting the maximum height. We did that, 88K. I found 85K. But we have some hope. Now it's time for me to lift your spirits. Now it's time for you to rise up. In the bear scenario, it will be invalidated if we can hold strong above this 50-day EMA. Strong support zone during our rise since April. In that case, we likely hit 125. So now let's start looking a little bullish here. We're going to go ahead and remove that. The orange line is that moving average that we're discussing earlier. Let me get rid of this one.
Right on it. Yeah.
Oh, right on it. And we've even gone below. And we've even, during that 30% pullback there, 31% pullback, we broke it decisively. This is February 2025. 30% pullback, still a bullish period, still a bullish uptrend. Once you zoom out with Bitcoin, sometimes the best advice you can do is just zoom out. But as of now, we're still looking semi-bullish, folks. That's not it, though. That's not it. We got more. Other bullishness here could be what we're seeing with Tech Dev. Tech Dev is posting this. He's getting a lot of hate because he doesn't even talk about what this is. In fact, if you go, it's a lot of, do you agree with this? What is the bottom? What's the bottom squiggle? Doesn't answer that. Label your charts, or it's just Photoshop. Label your charts. That's a great chart, says Dan. But most people are like, bro, you don't even say what the heck this is. Tech Dev keeps posting this. Every Bitcoin top has been 14 months from this point, yet many think that we're almost done. Well, if you go back all the way to July, you'll see that is the first time he has brought this up. It's the first time he says what it is. He says it's just mirroring the business cycle. Bitcoin tops when it tops. Bitcoin goes parabolic when it inflects. The time until inflection is the ramp length here. So we have 14 months after this inflection point that he was posting about here. This is what he posted yesterday. This is what he posted a little over a month ago. And so if you look here, the business cycle, as it inflects to the upside, that's when you end up getting this inflection point here. That's when you get the 14 months later, you get an all-time high. So this is suggesting October 2026, we get an all-time high. Now, when you search, I did a little research. Well, what does he mean by business cycle? You get a lot of different definitions of business cycle, and Tech Dev doesn't go into his personalized algorithm. So it's actually kind of a secret. We don't know what exactly or how he's measuring the business cycle. But in my research, TJ, my research Disco fam, I found something remarkably similar. And that's the copper and gold. So let's go to this chart here. Maybe this one's a little bit cleaner. You see on the bottom, but then look at this. Whoa, wait a minute. It's a top, that's a top. Okay, that's a top, that's a top, that's a bottom. That's like kind of deep into the bottom. That's a bottom. That's like not a little after the bottom. We're seeing a lot of correlation of this chart. This is from Marty Party. This is the copper to gold ratio. This is a well-known indicator. I've heard about it for years for smart money, that the business cycle is bottoming. When this happens, it's always before the trend, before a parabolic crypto run. So we're seeing Tech Dev's mysterious business cycle looking like we got a lot of room to go. We have the 50-day moving average. It is holding support. We're still holding support on this orange line here, the 50-day. Geez, how far back did I go? I went to 2021, didn't I? So we still got the orange support here. We got Tech Dev. We got copper gold ratio. And we have Michael Saylor still buying. Now, this isn't important to me, the 430 Bitcoin. This is a small amount, all being said. This is about $50 million. He spent a lot. He spent 10x this before. But, now he's also closer to 3%. That's not what's important. TJ, what's important is a rumor that's circulating around by Howie Mandel's brother, Josh. And it's not his real brother. Josh Mandel, the legendary trader who correctly predicted the price of Bitcoin to the dollar 6 months in advance, believes that Strategy's inclusion in the S&P 500 has already been confirmed. Of course, there's no official evidence, but we're just kind of going off a hearsay here. Is Bodie Savior, S&P 500 for September inclusion for MicroStrategy, 85% probability. If the board members are objective, it gets included in September. If not, who knows when it'll be in there, but we hope everyone's fair and objective here. Here's Josh Mandel's post. No, it is already done. They are included. I guess they haven't announced it yet. TJ, what happens when Strategy is added to the S&P 500?
A lot of companies have to buy it.
They have to buy it.
Yes.
They have to buy it. Now his camera's out, so we're just going to listen to TJ in spirit. We're pretending he's an ethereal ghost lurking within the interwebs like a Matrix agent.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's always here. He's always here. I think that's some trend. I'm always watching. I'm always watching. I want to go on a sidetrack there, but I'm not going to right now. I heard a trend that's local to us. But S&P 500 inclusion should have a positive effect on their share price, which would be a positive effect on their stock. What can that turn into, TJ?
Well, I mean, then they turn around and buy more Bitcoin.
Then they turn around and buy more Bitcoin. If you go into this article here, actually, I didn't even think about this connection, but you'll see that the purchasing, they got in 119. They got it from selling their preferred shares and the regular shares last week. So you see they have different types of shares. They have Stark preferred, the regular shares. But according to the SEC filing, they're doing this by dumping their stock. And so if we get higher stock prices, then they go and sell, 162,000 of these shares. Instead of getting $50 million in dry powder, now they got $100 million in dry powder. And then that creates a positive feedback loop. At least for a while, we'll keep that music playing. It'll keep our feet dancing. It'll keep our portfolios in the green. So we are seeing a lot of, I would just say, bullishness around the periphery, but you're seeing a lot of negativity on the immediate timeline. And when's the last time we checked the 30 cycle top indicators?
It's been a little bit. Let's check.
How many do you think have maybe triggered out of the 30?
Out of the 30, I mean, last I saw it wasn't any. So maybe a couple, maybe one or two.
Oh man, I don't know. Let's look. Zero.
Oh, none of
it is zero. In case you're not bullish enough, 0 out of the 30 bull market peak indicators have hit so far. Most of these are pretty good. Some of these shouldn't even be in this list, if I'm going to be honest, like Bitcoin dominance. But you'll see like Pi cycle top indicator. You see the Bitcoin rainbow chart. You see MVRV score. So you see a lot of really, really good indicators. Some dubious ones. The fact remains 0 out of 30 have hit.
Yeah, that's really strong.
Very strong. Makes me think bull market, I don't know about 14 months. I've been kind of saying, again, we're going to look at M2 money supply as the primary indicator of whether or not it's over. But my gut is telling me Q1 26. TJ, imagine Q4 26.
Yeah, that's
a lot higher.
That sounds good to me. Link daily and weekly charts are looking amazing. Yeah, somebody in our Discord just dropped a $27 to $28 link this week chart. So that'd be wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some crazy things like 200 this year and stuff like that. We're going to talk about Chainlink. Let me know if you are a Link Marine. I forgot who won last time. Maybe I'll remember in a second. Who's the first to put a Link emoji? I want to see a Chainlink emoji, because if you're not a Link Marine, if you either A, don't have a tattoo, or you're ready to type the Link emoji at all times, even when it doesn't even make sense. You could be at a school board meetings Facebook Live. I want you posting those Chainlink emojis.
That's right, Link.
They're going to say, who is this guy? Why is this guy shilling his fencing company? All right. And the winner is Dree Mula. I think he won last time. All right. Now, TJ, you brought up a volatile week. Do you remember what you said was the most volatile thing or the biggest question mark of the week here? Let me give you a hint.
The political stuff. Yeah. It's the sweaty Zelensky.
It's Zelensky. Oh, no, he's only sweaty because he was doing Dancing with the Ukrainian Stars.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen any of those clips of his dances.
Yeah, I have.
He wasn't moonwalking.
No.
He wasn't break dancing on cardboard. It was a little more sus. Anyway, so this we got a pretty major week ahead. A lot of it is going to be riding on this. Zelensky is going to meet with Trump in the U.S. We didn't really give too many. Today we didn't give too many thoughts on the Putin-Trump meeting because that kind of happened later Friday. Don't think too much is going to come from that. And the reason I'll get into why in a second, because we got other stuff. We got July Fed minutes meeting. This is kind of saying what they're going to be saying in the future. August S&P, we have manufacturing data. We have S&P composite data, July home sales data. But probably the biggest thing, Jerome Powell, he's flying into Wyoming. It's a thing called the Jackson Hole Symposium, and it's basically populated with a lot of billionaires and a lot of government officials. Jerome Powell is going to be speaking on Friday, and then we'll know probably a lot more definitively, are we going to get rate cuts in September? The odds are yes. I'm seeing more and more smart people say, maybe not so fast. That inflation data is a little bit higher than you think once you peek under the hood. So we got a major week ahead of us. But remember I said, I don't know if this is going to turn in anything. It's because he's signaling that. It's not me trying to, glorify Orange Man or Orange Man good, Orange Man bad, or Putin good, Putin bad. None of that. Zelensky is signaling he's not I don't want to say not serious about this, but he's signaling something that he only wants something impossible. Zelensky says Ukraine's constitution makes giving up land impossible. It should only be discussed at trilateral meetings. If Russia refuses, more sanctions must be imposed. Now, I don't want to mind read, but I believe he's also referring to Crimea, which was originally, taken, annexed, whatever you want to say, in 2014, if I'm not mistaken there. It happened under Obama's reign. Zelensky, all intents and purposes, will have to give up some land. They're running out of people at the end of the day for the front lines, and it's a war of attrition. And in this war of attrition, it seems like the NATO member countries are, a little hesitant to just say, hey, or just take unlimited amounts of everything. And so in this war of attrition, it does seem like Ukraine is maybe, kind of coming up to an end point. And because of that, he really should be trying to go to the negotiating table and saying he can't give up land. It's impossible, signaling that he's not serious about it. I've seen some critics say, well, also said impossible to stop elections in Ukraine, and he has stopped elections. So just because it's impossible in the Constitution doesn't mean that it won't happen. I don't know if you have any thoughts on predictions of, are we getting a peace deal this week, TJ?
I have no idea. I'm the wrong person to ask about political stuff. It's my opinion. I hope so. I hope we can get some peace and resolution so we can all move forward and move on. But and like I said, it seems like, if I had to choose, I think soon. Yes, I don't know about this week, but in the next, the next couple months, probably.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But, it seems like a lot of people say, now you're going to have to give up some of that land that you guys have lost there. He keeps going. He keeps the war going to stay in power. It doesn't tend to go well for when you start a war and lose. Once you step down, your people generally aren't happy. Or if you're just if there's any kind of regime change, typically your people aren't happy. You could look at what happened to Gaddafi. You could look at what I think Mao, Hussein. The list goes on and on. Let's talk about altcoins week, though. So that's the political week. Big week, politically speaking. Big week for macro environments. But it's a pretty big week for altcoins as well. We have Aave about to get 7% of the World Liberty 5 supply, which is worth over $1 billion at pre-market prices.
That's pretty big.
That is pretty significant. What do you think Aave does with this? Because there's a lot of options. They could sell some and stack more USDC. They could, potentially buy some wrapped Bitcoin, or they could just have it in their balance sheet.
Yeah, I think they'll just sit on it. I think it'll be in their treasury on their balance sheet, and they'll just start rounding out their balance sheet even more, and they'll help them climb that ladder. Aave's on the path to number one bank.
Now,
in the
do you
world.
think World Liberty 5 can pump all through Trump's presidency? I would say probably, yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Now, can it pump through Vance's presidency, assuming he wins?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so too. It's a lot of the same backers. We also have some Jupe news. The public launch of Jupiter Lend on Solana is scheduled for August. We also have Brazil's parliament will hold a hearing on National Bitcoin Reserve. That's actually pretty significant. They do have the largest economy in South America. Arbitrum's online build-a-thon is going to start. We also have Joe. I always talk about LFJ, previously called Trader Joe. They're releasing a token launcher on Solana, which is pretty interesting because they're known for being the Avalanche DEX. We also have Orca 1inch tease a major announcement. So we have an announcement of an announcement. And of course, like we said, Jerome Powell, all eyes are going to be on Jerome Powell speech on Fridays. That's going to be the major news, though. Black, I think, has found a bottom. Is down, just like all altcoins are down, but I'm looking at the price action. Kind of found a bottom like 5 days ago. Black is on Avalanche and it has the best revenue. I aped in a little bit, and now I'm almost thinking about like doubling my amount.
Yeah, thinking about putting some more in too, actually.
When you look at DeFi Llama, and I'll do it right now. So this is again one of those things we try to teach you how to fish here. I think we did this last week. So when you go to DeFi Llama, you can go to chains, click on chains, and then you could just explore whatever coin that you like. So Avalanche coming in number 10, and if you go by revenue, far and away above everybody, Black Hole making more than Benki, making more than Aave, making more than Trader Joe, now known as LFJ. So kind of ruling and GMX. A lot of tokens. I bet on a few. I had a small GMX bag. I've sold it completely. Had a small Benki bag. Have sold it completely. Now I'm just trying to play this revenue game. But we really need Avalanche to start making some moves if you want Avalanche DeFi to do well.
We really do. Come on, Avalanche, get it together. Let's go.
I want to see an avalanche of token buyers. That's what we want to see. We do have some ETH news as well. Now, ETH, a lot of liquidations here, TJ. If ETH drops below 3,900, 6 billion in longs are going to get liquidated. This could be a massive, massive shakeout here. And if you look at Wall Street, the hedge funds are shorting ETH, and their net short positions just hit a record high. The mother of all short squeezes is coming. That's what a lot of people are saying. And then maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of bullishness on the ETH Bitcoin chart here. ETH Bitcoin just broke the 365-day moving average. Last 2 times this happened, 2017, 2021, and both times ended with alt season. Both times made many millionaires. And then this is that 365-day moving average on the daily chart. So let's just look. Now, there was a period right here. We're not going to count this. This is a bear market, weird activity here. But if you go, that's an exchange collapse essentially. But this is the 2021 level that they're talking about. We did break above right here, technically in June 20. But then we came back down below. And then we broke free January 21. So I assume they're thinking that this breakthrough is probably more akin to this one rather than this one, even rather than this one. So this was the start of an alt season. January is a great time to hold altcoins. But there was one retest of the 365-day moving average. In fact, there's several. If you count, like, we shot above, retested, and then a bear market. So this might just be, maybe we don't retest it, but I do want to just put that retest on your radar there. So some shorts might get liquidated. That will, draw that price down. And then that's when things could really start to take off. I think if it uses this as a spring, use it as a launch pad, that's when we're going to start seeing some of these style of green lines here.
Yeah, because that's ETH BTC you're looking at?
This is ETH priced in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So at one point, one ETH was almost 10% of a Bitcoin, meaning one Bitcoin is only 10 ETH.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, when it moves very aggressively on those charts too. Like you see that when it makes that line up.
Yeah.
That's
just
aggressive.
Measuring this in time. Really, we could start from here. It gets real bullish. Yeah, that was 1 month.
Yeah.
Literally a month to change your life.
It's coming.
It is coming, folks. It is coming. And if you are ready for it to come, smash that like button. Don't repeat what I just said. All right. That was like that Kamala clip, right?
Something like that.
Don't come. Don't come here if you're not ready to talk about crypto. That's what I'm going to say, folks. All right. We always retest. Well, I'm testing you. If you've hit that like button, have you smashed that like button? Have you taken the time out of your day to help spread the crypto gospel? I'm not saying go on the corner. I'm not saying go on the sidewalk with the boombox and the cardboard and say, change my mind on Bitcoin. I just want you to hit the like button. It's not that hard. Smash it one time. Thank you very much. Stevie, thank you in the Rumble. Yeah, we see you in the Rumble chats. We see you in X. So if you want to give us a repost, that really helps us out there. But now let's talk about alt season again. Alt season's the next step. Might not be ETH BTC. Might not be these moving averages. Might not be Zelensky. All roads might lead to People's Republic of China. Might be the Chinese stimulus here because investors' response to the recession fears here. So this is what China's going to do in response. So central banks stimulate growth. Just a primer here. Banks stimulate growth by reducing interest rates or enabling special financial conditions. Effectively, this increases the amount of money floating around. This dynamic benefits risky assets such as stocks and cryptocurrencies. These are risky compared to, say, a treasury or some sort of fixed CD. Now, traders now question, is the Chinese central bank's next move. Will it provide the liquidity boost that finally drives altcoins beyond their previous all-time highs? So let's look at it. So currently, the monetary supply for US, 5.8 trillion. If you look at European Union, 5.4 trillion. And if you look at China, 5.2 trillion. It's crazy how much is in Japan, right? But a lot of that's debt. Now, this according to Porkopolis, that old bull worth of financial news. But with China accounting with 20%, $1 out of $5, its monetary policies remain crucial, even if it's the Fed Reserve that's dominating the headlines. Now, we are an American-based channel, so we do put a lot more weight on Jerome Powell's remarks versus Central Chinese Bank. But this is also very important, folks. Now, Bloomberg noted the People's Bank of China could introduce stimulus measures as soon as this month. Others are saying it's only a matter of time before the stronger supportive policies arrive. Cryptocurrencies are going to surge, in my opinion, from this move. But no one knows what China's going to do. No one knows for sure. Actually, there's probably thousands of people within the Chinese Communist Party who do know, but they're probably pretty tight-lipped when it comes to this stuff. You have any? What are your thoughts on China? They're known for stopping bull runs. Is China gonna fuel the bull run?
Yeah, they very well could. I mean, I think their economy is also built on a lot of debt, and they're in a similar situation where they need to find a relief valve for it, and Bitcoin and crypto could be it. So I think, yeah, we're very similar. It could be we've been in a currency war with them for quite some time, and it could be who can print and buy Bitcoin the fastest.
Yeah. Now, we got a lot of people. I like this comment right here. A lot of doom and gloomers here today. It's all going to zero. This is the bullish news that you need. When the timeline gets bearish, when everyone's feeling fearful instead of greedy, that's the fuel for the next rally. That's what can lift up crypto markets, and that's what can lift up your portfolio as well. So seeing a lot of doom and gloom, if you zoom out, is actually very, very good. China is secretly stacking. They won't announce until they're happy with their position size. I can maybe even say they'll never say their full position size. Chinese yuan is the only currency that can go head-to-head with Bitcoin. I think that is probably fair, but I wouldn't count out the rupee either. They have a highly educated population. They have a population that's having babies, and that might be very important 15 years from now. Now, I just want to share a little meme. TJ, what do you think of this one? Women. That's always bad, right? Women want you to be rich, but they get the ick. If you talk about crypto, they want you to be rich from lumber or some shit. This is kind of funny. I just want to give a shout out to the wife. She's not going to back and forth with me on the merits of Cardano's decentralization, but she's a great participant for crypto conferences.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'm just laughing at Alex Becker's response. I didn't even see this when I posted this. Try being good looking and charismatic.
Yeah.
I don't think any it is a gender war issue. I probably shouldn't even be talking about this stuff, but yeah, it's definitely more guys into crypto than girls.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard this broad generalization. Yeah, I think it's true. My aunt, lives in Washington State, and she's the epitome of white female in Washington State, but she hates this generalization. Guys are into things, women are into people. And that's why you'll see more women teachers and women nurses. And that's why you see more guy engineers. What do you think of that?
Okay. I mean, sure. I guess you said guys are into things, women are into people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
generally speaking,
sure. Makes sense.
Oh, there you go. So, yeah, you go to a crypto conference, it doesn't look like Target.
But I think, the moral of the story was they want your thing to be lumber, not magic internet money, right?
Yeah, I'm sure if you came home and talked about saw blades, though,
right,
they'd be like, "Oh God, you're giving me the ick." Stop talking about your flannel
Shirt. Yeah.
All right. I like China. I don't like China, but the currency is very powerful. Chinese economy is growing at an exponential rate. Yes, it is got the very, very high growth rate for sure. The problem is that high growth rate could be the new normal. So when they have a 4% growth rate, you're like, oh, that's not good enough. And then maybe that almost acts like a bear market there. Never trust a guy who looks like the police. Is that me?
I don't know. I don't think you look like.
You know what I look like, TJ?
What's that?
I look like someone who holds Cardano. And let's talk about Cardano. I see you guys in the chat. Oh, he hasn't shilled ADA yet. I'm not shilling ADA. But I wanted to do this post because I might have to do some more math on this. I love this. Owning 2,143 ADA gives you the same share of Cardano supply as holding 1 Bitcoin. And
Oh, that's cool.
that is kind of cool, right? I would like to
2,000,
do
that's it?
XRP, Solana, and tell me what altcoin, because we'll probably start posting these on Discover Crypto. Takes a little bit of math, takes a little bit of research. What altcoin would you want to see this post about, TJ? Besides the ones I named, which
I want
ones?
to know Link.
Link. That's what I was thinking. Link. I like a link. Let me see here. ADA. There it is. There it is. There's that Cardano talk. Don't worry, I'm stopping soon. There's a chair in the corner of the room in the hotel for you, DZ. All right, there's an Alex Becker reference there. Litecoin. Wow, I didn't expect that one. Ondo. Okay, maybe a little Ondo. Someone saying it looked like a bald Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
I am an FBI agent. That's my favorite Keanu line. It's better than I know Kung Fu. All right, we have Turbo. No, we're not going to do Turbo. Link. Tau. Tau's actually, isn't that 21 million? Is that a joke?
I think
it is 21 million. All right, Link. Looks like it's going to be Link. All right, so I'll start working on Link, Arrow, Kita. Kita could be a good one there. And some of them are going to be difficult because of infinite supplies or ever-changing supply. Speaking of infinite supply, it's not really. It just feels like it with that escrow wallet. XRP, I know they have a finite supply. XRP price analysis, though. Bulls are in trouble, and you must quickly reclaim $3. Now, XRP showed a little weakness this morning. Is down 5% over the last 24 hours. And was now trading under $3.
Sitting on it right now, right at $3.
Is it really? I was going to go check. Oh, wow. Folks, we're talking about a major inflection point here. So let's talk about this article here. So we must hold this $3 level to avoid a deeper correction. That deep correction could take us to 224. This is interesting. Last time XRP saw a high volume close below $3, this was back in January. Afterwards, there would be a 50% drop to $1.61. Now, the 50-day moving average is at 294, and we have a local low. I think this is the 100. Oh, no, this is the local low, 272. Second area of interest, 100-day simple moving average at 260, and the 200-day. I mean, now they're just throwing out the major moving averages here. These are those moving averages. If you look here, so we're right now similar to Bitcoin. Again, we're looking at the daily. We are coming against that 50-day moving average, and this is almost like a textbook test here. This is the 100, 271. Looks like with this daily candle, it's brought down from 272, 272 maybe. Yeah, 272. The 200-day, though, you're looking at 244. So these are some potential levels. XRP definitely needs to hold this level right here. Also, we have XRP trading breaking down from a symmetrical triangle on the daily candle chart as shown below. And as we were saying, you find the maximum top and the maximum bottom. To me, I guess you have different ways. You could do it like this, or you can come from the line. Maybe we'll go ahead and draw that. Failure to close above this $3 puts us at the risk of a 225 or down 25% from the current level. Let's actually measure this. I want to do it in 4 hour, get a little bit cleaner look. We're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. Now they're doing it from here to here. I'm going to do it from here to here. To me, it just seems like a little, especially in a bull trend, this is kind of where you want to be at. So if you do the long measurement, that was that 225. Let's just say this is the breakdown. 217. I guess they're coming in from here, just 235. But if this is the breakdown, XRP might shed $1. Shed $1 pretty quickly, TJ Shed. I don't know what you think about that. I mean, that actually brings us down to another area of support.
Yeah, I think that's consistent if we see the whole market breakdown as a macro trend like we're looking at with Bitcoin. But I think if it holds, I think it'll probably trend with similar altcoins and hold that range. But we'll see. I think we'll, if once we get through today, we go back to kind of general bullish structure, but we'll see.
Yeah, and we did kind of break it, I think 2 weeks, but there's a long period of red Sunday equals green Monday and a green week in general. And it happened like 4 or 5 times in a row. Kind of broke from it past fortnight or so, but maybe we're coming back to that. realm. But let's talk about Ripple here.
We got the super chat real quick.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. 20% Link, 25% Ondo, 20% Render, 10% Near, 25% Arrow. Should you rotate or hold? I would sit tight probably with most of that.
I would probably sit tight if you have the fortitude to handle that Bitcoin drop. If Bitcoin, maybe it only goes to 100, maybe it goes to 94, maybe it goes to 88. Your altcoins are going to bleed and they're going to bleed hard, but we don't think the bull run's over. We think there is going to be higher highs. We do think there's going to be better days ahead. And so if you're okay with some of those alts potentially losing 30, 40%, and you're not going to panic sell at the bottom, because that's when it's going to start bouncing, right? When you feel like you should most sell is when it's most likely to bounce. If you can handle that, by all means, go ahead. Otherwise, take your biggest profit, take a little bit of position into Bitcoin. I'd like to see a video on Pendle. Haven't seen too many explaining that protocol there. Yeah, maybe we can work on that.
Yeah, Pendle's been doing well. DeFi protocol, strong.
Yeah. You ready to talk about CTO of Ripple here?
Sure.
All right. His name is John Cena. No, it's David Schwartz here. David Schwartz, he's basically the smart guy behind Ripple. That's what I like to. He's the nerd in the basement that's like smoking a cigarette in the recline. Like you go down to have a meeting with Brad Garlinghouse and you're like in a job interview, but like Brad keeps looking at the guy in the corner. The guy in the corner is just only lit from the ember of his cigarette. He'll do. That's Schwartz. Okay, he's the power behind the power. So David Schwartz, long-serving CTO of Ripple, has quietly re-entered the realm of infrastructure development on his own terms. In a move independent of Ripple, but connected, he just deployed a high-capacity server hub in New York designed to support XRPL with production level stability. There's his post right there. Now, Schwartz's vision is clear: to bolster the network by offering high uptime support for validators, hubs, and applications. Reserve slots are allocated for critical infrastructure components. Surplus capacity will be made available to the public on a best effort basis. Now, TJ, me and you were kind of talking about this before the show. What do you think? Why? Let me ask why. Why would maybe the guy that knows more about XRP's tech than anybody in the world, why would he have a enterprise grade hub for the XRPL in New York City?
Well, yeah, we were talking about potentially being trying to get transactions as fast as possible for some of the stock market traders.
So for those who don't know, oftentimes you'll see basically these AI bots. Aladdin was one. It was a bot before they even called them bots, before even people talked about AI. But these high throughput, multiple trades per millisecond trading entities are competing against each other. And in this PvP battlefield, an edge time of 2/1000ths of a second can make the difference of billions of dollars for a company's bottom line, because it is that critical. It is that highly competitive. I have a theory. We have, maybe, TJ agrees here. There is, in my opinion, a high likelihood he is building this for Wall Street banks to be able to outtrade you and outtrade everybody when it comes to trading XRP or doing any kinds of transactions on the XRPL. Maybe they're doing something with validating stable coins. Maybe they just want, that trading edge. But to me, this is signaling, he's creating a product for Wall Street to trade XRP. And to me, this is a very, very bullish development.
Yeah, interesting.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not, and we don't have any insight. And he's saying it's for critical infrastructure. What was the wording that they chose here? It is for critical infrastructure components. Surplus capacity, though. This is what I'm talking about. This is what BlackRock might be able to tap into this and outtrade maybe even a Coinbase, maybe even a Binance. I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't want to say captured Joel Schwartz is, but I don't know how much he's going to be looking out for the traditional players that be in the financial world. And that would be the JP Morgans, the Citibanks, and the BlackRocks there.
I'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
I guess we're going to see. Rumor that Schwartz is going to be in Spaceballs too. I don't know about that one. You are delusional if you think Bitcoin is hack proof. It is today. Who knows what the future is going to hold, but it does seem like they have good plans for any kind of quantum computing renaissance that might be happening 10, 15 years from now. it did have downtime in 2010 with the value overflow incident. Love XRP is my biggest bag. I'm just hoping the real is real. Now, it's not really going to be used by all banks, so I hope you're not waiting on that, though. But, hey, remittance payments and the stable coin's going to do well. If you think people attacking the barbarians out there. All right, let's talk about Solana here. Solana just did a pretty major milestone. They had 100,000 transactions per second with a stress test transaction spike. Now, they're labeling and they're marketing this as the first major blockchain to hit 100,000 transactions per second. Important on its mainnet. We do see other blockchains, do things on little side chains. I know Sui is really, really fast. What's some of the fast ones there?
I mean, all of them these days: Aptos, Sui, Avalanche.
Aptos. That's what I was. Yeah. The other DM one.
Yeah, they all try to do. But like you said, the real question is, what are you doing on mainnet versus testnet? Like, testnet's great, but you got to do it for real.
Well, they're saying most transactions in this test were not exchanges for tokens. They weren't trades. There are actually no operation program calls or NOOPs, not NIP, NOOPs, an instruction that doesn't perform any meaningful computation or state changes. So to me, that takes a little bit of wind out of the sails. That deflates the balloon slightly there. But I will say Solana is, as you see these type of headlines, people aren't really going to read into this. They're not going to look into what the NOOP program calls or what percentage were NOOPs and what percentage were transactions. But they're going to see this headline and they're going to say, oh, okay, well, Solana, I've heard of that. Visa can onboard Solana, right? And so this is still bullish. So yeah. I do want to give Solana
100,000 transactions. I do think we're at a point of diminished returns. Somewhat, I've said this before.
Yeah, when the whole my tech is the best, you mean?
Yeah, or specifically with speed. I think they're fast. Like everybody's, they're all really fast, and being a microsecond faster. I think this is not saying it doesn't matter. It obviously clearly it matters. The throughput matters, but I think competing to get a microsecond faster for the most part is not. It's not going to make or break a chain at this point. Avalanche is fast enough. Solana is fast enough. Sui, Aptos, they're all very fast, and they can all do what we need them to do. So we'll just have to see who wins the actual market share.
Yeah, Algorand's one. HBAR will not dethrone Bitcoin.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever. So yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Bitcoin is just in a different world, and you could say, sure, HBAR security protocols like twice as hard to hack. That doesn't mean anything if both are impeccable locks. So at the end of the day, I can't open either door. Does it really matter if one has like 2 deadbolts or 1 deadbolt? At the end of the day, if I can't open the door, I can't open the door. So Bitcoin is king. Just remember, Bitcoin is going to be king. Looking at now, let's talk about Doge. Now, we started with this. Monero was under attack by Qubit. Now, Monero did just get some recent bad news. Just this morning, Kraken has now paused Monero deposits following that 51% attack. If you didn't see our show last week, there was an attack on the Monero blockchain, and it was by the Cubic blockchain. And it's a army of computers, and they pointed their Death Star laser. They sent it right at XMR. And then Monero ended up having, it went under 51% attack. But now if you look forward, Cubic, they have voted on their next victim. They have rotated the Death Star, and they have chosen Alderaan. And Alderaan is going down. And you know who's on Alderaan? That little dog, that Doge dog is on there. Amidala had her. Am I mixing my...
No, you got it.
Yeah, Amidala. Yeah. Oh, princess. It was actually her handmaiden's dog.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
Cubic is now voting to target Dogecoin next. This is going to have some major, we'll see. This is going to make a major move for Dogecoin, I think, either way. Now, Cubic carried out the 51% attack on Monero, seen as community vote to make Doge the next target. Looking, there wasn't actually that many votes. It's just 300 votes there, more than all the other networks combined. Looks like it was just in the Discord. So, I feel like Zcash or Caspa could have easily oh my God, we're about to get attacked. Yeah. Join the Discord and click D for Dogecoin.
Go vote for the other chain.
Go, just not us. Makes me, I think I have one Zcash. It's $50. It's just something I bought years ago and just I'll never sell it.
Yeah.
I'm about to sell my Zcash for Doge. Now, Cubic's successful attack on Monero took the community by surprise. The AI-focused network targeting another proof-of-work cryptocurrency could signal troubling implications for blockchains reliant on mining. Now, my prediction here is, because that's the whole point, let's make some predictions. My prediction is, if it works, Doge will not hit a new all-time high this cycle. If they fail, Doge to $1. I said it.
Oh, okay. I like that. So if it fails, it's mega bullish, lots of publicity, doesn't happen. Yeah, okay. I like it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know how many chains can survive this Cubic attack. I don't even think the smartest guy on Cubic knows whether or not these things are going to work or not. I think they have, good guesstimations, but this is definitely going to be an ongoing thing to pay attention to. This is it's like a little chaos agent in the blockchain space.
Yeah. Well, that's what's fun about Doge. It's a pure unknown, and you're messing with a lot of like early internet, early Bitcoiner type people that were just mining for fun. So it's like it could just randomly get a ton of hash power out of nowhere, just because they're getting attacked. So I would not be attacking Doge. Yeah, my camera, somebody unplugged it somehow, so I got to find the plug for it. So I'm sorry.
It was me.
Yeah, easy sabotage. Yeah,
I was listening to some Beastie Boys, who suck, by the way, and just kept listening to Sabotage. So I was like, all right, it is time. Yeah, Beastie Boys sucks. I had this talk with Drew on Friday. Not good. Not good. Bunch of nepotism and, first rap album to go play. Who cares? They suck. Anyways, let's talk about Doge. There is some bullishness out there. There is a golden cross. Failed to lift Doge as the sellers overwhelmed the rally. I think the sellers came from, it was a twofold attack here. One, Bitcoin was dumping, so people started dumping Doge. Also, the whole Cubic narrative. I think a lot of people are a little spooked on holding some Doge here. But I do, as like a lot of bullet points, I wanted to just show you Trading View. Let's look at the Doge Bitcoin trading pair here. So you can type in just a DOG BTC. You're going to see an old Binance pair that goes back pretty significantly. This goes 2013. Does that go back far enough for you, folks?
True.
Yeah, way back. This TJ, what's one of the reasons Doge was created?
Just for fun.
I thought you were saying liquidity or something.
Oh, that wasn't why it was created, but that used to be why it would front run alt season. It was because it was one of the small first ones with like a lot of 0.000 like small units. It was very easy to push it one metric and then trigger a bunch of liquidations.
All right. Well, I mean, minus the dip, you remove this yellow line. This almost looks like this right here looks kind of like an enlarged version of this right here. Now, I'm not saying, oh yeah, we're gonna burst through. We're gonna burst through. But you can see like little spikes above the 50-day moving average. You can see some spikes above the 50-day moving average. And then you can see that we have a 50. Let me just double check. Oh, that might be the 25. I think I have the 25 set. No, 50, 100, and 200. That's what we have set right here. And so right now you see some support on that 100 and that 200. In fact, we're, bounced against it, wicked against it. Spent several days not being able to go below this range, kind of trapped between the 50 and the 100. You look right here, kind of trapped between or right around the 200. So I don't know, might be some bullish activity for Doge looking pretty soon. Doge Bitcoin, if it were to climb to the top of this, we're just kind of speculating. I think there's a really good shot Doge Bitcoin can hit this. It's pretty sharply diminishing. So we're not expecting Doge to gain against Bitcoin. We're expecting Doge to bleed against Bitcoin. To me, I think it can go up a bit, in this scenario. We are looking at a gain of, this is with Bitcoin's price flat. 82. All right, doubling. Now Bitcoin doubles in price, and this doubles. You're looking at 160% pump. Man, I don't know. Maybe even if it does hit this line, we don't get that dollar Doge. So Doge really needs to make some moves. Pretty quickly. Now let's talk about Chainlink. I know we got a lot of Link Marines in the chat here. Chainlink was the best performer over the weekend. We're going to put out a video on this in the next day or two. So if you want to learn why the heck Chainlink is good, why people call it one of the best coins right now, and potentially some price predictions, turn on those notifications. Let's go to the link chart here. This is kind of my, basically basic TA and price prediction. This is what they call a megaphone pattern or a broadening wedge. And if you look at this broadening wedge, we do have a pretty clear target at the top of this range. We are creating higher lows fairly consistently. We are creating higher highs semi-irregularly. And if this continues, Nice 65% pump, and that is a $40 chain link. $40 chain link still wouldn't be the all-time high, which was $52, $53. And I still think Chainlink can hit 100. I think, we do have a shot of, rejecting off of this, but I think we could turn this into a spring to maybe something like that.
Yeah, I think whenever they kick that revenue on in October, November, I think it's going to get crazy.
Yeah. They're the crack dealer in the ghetto that's giving away the crack for free, getting everybody hooked because it's the best product around. And then it's going to start charging an arm and a leg.
That's right.
Chainlink, what's his name again? Sergey. Sergey's basically a fentanyl dealer. I'm joking. It's just because it's so good. I can't get enough. I don't do fentanyl. Like, that's bad stuff. I've never done it. Never will. All right, let's talk about VeChain. Last thing here. VeChain Foundation taps Crypto.com to offer institutional custody and liquidity services. I think this might turn into something good. VeChain, of course, the only crypto that UFC president Dana White holds.
There you go.
Says he doesn't even hold Bitcoin. He only has VeChain. Now, of course, that's because VeChain is a UFC title sponsor. But Crypto.com support is signaling an American shift. And this has historically been an Asian crypto project. And so maybe we're going to see maybe a little pump in VeChain coming soon. So I want to put that on your radar as well. Dana, very bullish on Chainlink. All right. Sergey
VeChain.
is Nino Brown. Wow. Nice reference there. Are we bullish on Arrow?
Extremely
yes.
bullish on Arrow, yeah.
Oreos, no, they're not even good. They're barely good with milk. And if you must dip a cookie in milk to make it palatable, that's not a good cookie. A cookie must stand alone. It must stand on its own. And an Oreo cannot. I think that's what you're referring to, right?
Oreos, yeah.
People don't like the barbarian. It's okay. Let's all have different opinions here. Bitcoin won't make you rich. Bitcoin never hits 200K to begin with. But some people aren't looking at, I want to put in $1,000 and get rich. Maybe they're just trying to escape their erosion of their US dollar. And for that, Bitcoin is the best. Now, if you do want to get rich, you got to be focused. You got to stay plugged in. One of the best ways to do that is follow this channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's get into your algo because we are trying to navigate these waters here. We're making some pretty good calls. If you go to our videos here, you can see, talking about ETH, talking about Cardano before the pump, Arrow about to pump. And we had a Chainlink video not that long ago. I'm trying to find. Oh, yeah, the White House right there. You can see the Chainlink. We predicted the Chainlink pump. So we're doing pretty good, trying to stay ahead. And if you don't want to stay poor, make sure you follow this channel. What do you guys think about Saucer swap DEX on HBAR? I would do the same thing I do for everybody. We don't trust, we verify. So we go to DeFi Llama. And on DeFi Llama, if you go to chains, I imagine HBAR is somewhere around 30. Let's see here. Not in the top 30. I mean, isn't even on here. Okay, there we go. 40. I was semi-close. And Saucer Swap is number 2, but it's number 1 on fees. Cumulative revenue. It passes the first test of many. Then you need to go into their socials. Then you need to look at the tokenomics. You need to look at the token supply. What kind of drip is there going to be? AKA, like, how many tokens are going to be hit from these investors' portfolios? Are you going to be dumped upon? So off the top, though, it's making money, and that's important here. All right, well, folks, that is our show. I gotta get some research done. There's something I may have found, folks. Just maybe something I may have found. So stay tuned for the Chainlink video. TJ, are you gonna say?
Oh, see you guys next time.
All right, adios.
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.